Well, thank you so much for staying with us. If you're just joining, you're on to This Morning on ITV. And today, just as I said earlier, we are celebrating the 2-year mark of our President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the beautiful, the ugly, and also everything in between as well. So, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu celebrates 2-year mark of his presidency today, May 29th, 2025, it is an opportunity to evaluate his leadership trajectory, drawing from his existence experience as a senator and a 2-term governor of Lagos State. The nation's economic powerhouse, Tinubu, entered office with a reputation for pragmatism and reform. However, the realities of governance at the national level have presented challenges that merit a balanced critique. Now, President Bola Tinubu's administration embarked on ambitious economic reforms, notably the removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the Naira exchange rate. So while these measures aim to address fiscal imbalances and attract foreign investment, they have had profound implications for an average Nigerian. Now, joining me to discuss more on this is Jesu Femi Adeogun. He is a political analyst right there in Lagos, Nigeria. Good morning, Jesu Femi. Thank you so much for being part of the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And I also have Comrade Engineer Odefe Emmanuel. He is the National President, Vanguard for Transparent Leadership and Democracy. He joins virtually from Delta State, Nigeria. Good morning, Comrade. Good to see you. Can you hear me, Comrade? Okay, so whilst we're trying to work on that, let me quickly start with Jesu Femi. Now, Jesu Femi, in your own point of view, what would you describe President Tinubu's midterm scorecard to be? What is your own assessment of how this administration has fared within the last 2 years?
For the, for the question, I'll start by applauding the president because I need to acknowledge the fact that it's not easy. Leadership is not easy. I'm not going to join the bandwagon on castigating our leaders. We have this attitude of castigating our leaders when things are not the way it's supposed to be. It's important for us to know that it's not easy leading people. It's not easy leading an entire nation. So I will first of all applaud him for challenging himself, taking the bull by the hand, and putting all the efforts into making sure that the country works. Now, as much as I'm not going to rate his midterm performance 100%, I'm still going to give him, let me say, 70%. I'm still going to give him 70%. Looking at a lot of things, when the president came to power, Nigeria has literally gone bankrupt. Let me just put it in layman terms. Nigeria does not have money when president came to power. No money. Over 90% of Nigeria's revenue was used in servicing debts. But he came in, he increased the revenue generation of the country, which is one of the things he knows how to do best. He did it in Lagos State. Now he's doing it in Nigeria. And he provided funds. He increases the funds for the states. Now, there has been the questions of what is the direct impact of the government on the citizens. So the federal government empowered the states and the states empowered the citizens. So citizens are able to get more effects, more fundings, more money from their states. You understand? And that has, in one way or the other, reduced the pressure. Before he came in, don't let us forget that these so-called states, 27 of the states in Nigeria were unable to pay salaries. So which company, which organization who employ people are not being able to pay? But he came in and he filled that gap. Yes, things are not so as much as we want it to be right now as a Nigerian, but I believe that in the nearest future, things are going to be better. And the future is quite looking bright. So regarding your question, how have you, regarding his performance, I think he's trying his best. And I'm not of the opinion that Rome is built in a day. To build a city as beautiful as Rome takes some time. So I will plead to Nigerians to be patient and to let us see how the first 4 years of his administration will go. I so much believe that Tinubu as our president and from his antecedents would fix this country. Let me put it that way. Would fix this country. It may not be in his tenure, but as things goes on, all the things he's doing, he's putting in place, would eventually yield the right results. That's my belief. So I'll rate him well. He has done that he can do, and I believe that the next 2 years is for us to see, the other things that we can achieve.
Okay, Jesse Femi, amazing. Now, there are those who would say that it seems you are living in a different part of the country or living in a different part right there in Lagos, because considering the cost of living and everything right now, it is a lot. I remember during the first part of the administration and how there were talks about, oh, it's pretty much too early to start, criticizing our president. How about we give him more time? Now, this is 2 years gone already, and we have seen different things happen and different things are still unfolding. Now, I would love you to give me a couple of things that actually got you to the point where you were all about giving big kudos to our president in terms of what? Because for an average Nigerian right now at this point, especially considering the cost of living for an average Nigerian, it actually is a lot. With inflation on the front burner being pretty high, there's so many things that Nigerians currently are frowning at. But now you have the opinion that it's all good and cherry news at your end. So how did you get to that benchmark? Just a family, please go ahead.
Now, let me correct the notion.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it's all good at my end. That's not exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. You see, when we are trying to examine a situation, we have to think about a lot of statistics, about a lot of things. We don't just isolate a particular situation that we're in. Everybody is feeling what is happening in the country. Everybody. But the answer to your question is this. What is the plan? Are we thinking about the future or about now? And I will say to every Nigerian that is watching this, I have done an analysis before now, and I say that the policies that the president are putting in place, they're not going to be easy for us at the moment. But let's say in another 2 years, in another 4 years, we're going to reap the reward of what he's doing presently. Take Lagos, for example. Lagos did not come out and become so good immediately when Tinubu was governor. But he put in policies. Let me give you one particular thing. Lagos was having insecurity issues before Tinubu became governor in Lagos State. There were robberies on every road of Accra, I can remember. They're always robbing the banks there. When last did you hear that fully armed robbers, the likes of Anini, Shinorambo, they were robbing every time in Lagos then? But Tinubu came to power, talked to the banks, They put RRS police, special police at almost every junction, and insecurity disappeared. Now, what I'm saying is that that measure that he put in place did not take effect in his own, effectively in his own tenure as Lagos State Governor. But right now, Lagos is peaceful. I can drive 2 a.m. in Lagos. I can go to the island, I can come back. I believe somebody that was able to put this kind of thing in place in Lagos can repeat it in the entire country. But it needs time. It needs time. Nigeria has gone too far. I mean, too far for us to expect that he's going to come in and in 2 years he's going to fix all our problems. Yes, apart from cost of living, we still having issue with electricity. We still having issue with security. I still want reduction in governance, in cost of governance. I still want all these things to come to play. Yes, but I want us to give him some time. He has made some important moves. For example, the net fund. Do you listen to the EFCC chairman? I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, talking about the younger ones, what they have turned to. The younger ones are no longer Yahoo alone. They are not doing kidnapping. They are not doing helping politicians to launder money. Younger ones. So neo funds is the strategy to actually take these younger ones back to school. Those that their parents cannot afford to send to school, it's going to take them back to school. One way or the other, it's going to help the issue of
Femi, yes.
Yahoo.
Now, you're saying we should give the president more time. It is 2 years already. Now, mind you, an administration lasts for how many years? 4 years, and this is the second anniversary we're celebrating. How much time more does the president need to give out all of the dividends of democracy he did promise Nigerians when he came into power on May 29th, 2023. But that's not even the conversation right now. Let's talk about the ministers. How would you rate their performance individually and also collectively as well? And in your own term, what are some of those ministers who are some of those ministers that are working dutifully in terms of capacity, innovation, and also filling the heart of the masses? And who are those ministers you feel are not doing their bit at all?
Thank you for that question. I don't think all the ministers are doing in my own opinion, are doing well. Minister of the FCT is doing his bit. Minister in charge of mine and resources at least recorded an increase in revenue generation. You know, a drastic increase in revenue generation, which is part of where Tinubu is getting the funds to run the government. The last media chat Tinubu had, he said 3 months before that time, he didn't have to take any money from NNPC, which is a very good news. When I heard that, I was proud. Now, the Minister of Aviation too is also performing. Okay, so if I want to talk about those that are not performing, Minister of Power, I'm sorry, he's my brother, but I think he needs to do better. By now, we should have seen drastic improvement in power, because those are the part of the economy that is very, very key. Power is very key to the economy, and I'm sure that the president is also very particular about Nigerians having 24/7 power supply. You know, but we're just here on Bandhe, and that's the terror. What about the other bands? Why haven't you moved them into Bandhe so that everybody can at least have 22 power supply, 2 hours power supply in 24 hours? What is causing the issue? Why can't we have these things done? You know, so this is one. Second one is security. The minister in charge of security, I think they also need to up their game. They really need to up their game. Because in the insecurity, yes, they are trying their effort, but I think they need to do more. Because these are key parts of the economy that needs to work. Power needs to work, health needs to work, security need to work. And these three key areas, we are not proud of them yet. I'm speaking on behalf of Nigerians in case they're watching this. And you can see oil sector. You see what happened? The CEO of NNPC was removed and replaced. That shows a government that is keen to achieving its goals. You understand? They didn't just leave them there after they've been funded last year. They've been funded billions of dollars to fix the refineries and make them work. But it's not looking at like it's supposed to be, and they were removed. You understand? So I expect the same thing from the president. If these so-called ministers are not performing, remove them and put those that are performing there. For example, I would have loved if President Tinubu can remove Minister Wike and give him power. He has the will, he has the passion. He wants to deliver. He's delivering in Abuja. Put him in the power sector. Let him go and deliver there. Let him go and deliver there. Those that have the will and are doing what they're supposed to do, maybe you should add to their portfolio or move them to where it's critical. Where it's critical. You know, the Minister of Immigration to also performing. At least before Tinubu came to power, it was difficult for us to get our passport. You have to wait 6 months before you can get your passport. But now in 2 weeks, you can even do everything from your phone. So I give them I applaud them. But those that are not doing well should up their game. Additionally, Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, my brother, Minister Bosu Tijani, I know he's done 3TT program, but we are not feeling the effects of the 3TT program. We are not feeling it. If he's aiming to empower, to train 3,000 Nigerians in a whole year, it's too small. 3,000 youth is too small. If it's funding he needs, he should speak to the president. We need more. We want to feel the effect. Nigerian youths are turning into Yahoo and all sorts because they are not engaged. There are tech jobs that are paying as much as $5,000, $10,000, $3,000 a month. If these Yahoo guys, young guys, can see these opportunities, they are trained in 3 months to 6 months, and they are given this opportunity to get these jobs, and they are making about $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, they will neglect Yahoo. All they are looking for is money. They just want to be comfortable. They just want to be okay. They just want to have food to eat. They want to live a normal life. They don't want to be poor. And technology can do this for them. In case Minister Bosu is watching this.
Okay, let me quickly move over to Comrade Emmanuel if we have him back on. Comrade Emmanuel, are you there, please? Because right now we're going to be moving critically and begin to highlight some of the key major sectors and area addressing or affecting an average Nigerian. Comrade Emmanuel, can you hear me? Okay, so whilst we're still trying to work on that, now let me move over to you, Jesu Femi. Now let's begin to highlight some of the things, especially regarding the security situation of the country. You talked about the fact that the minister is not doing enough as things should be done. Now, one of the major persistent challenge currently facing Nigeria, or we are currently experiencing, is security, and it has been a critical concern under President Tinubu's leadership. Now, in the Northeast, we've seen resurgency of jihadist violence being reported on a daily basis, with Boko Haram and its splinter group, Islamic State West Africa Province. We've also seen different amounts of figures of persons being killed in recent attacks on a daily basis across Adamawa and Borno states. And looking at the front pages of the newspaper this morning, we saw that the president is saying that a lot of those persons, a lot of those IPOB guys and the jihadist groups have been killed. So far, so good. Now, why are we still having cases of insecurity in the country every now and then? Do you think the president is not doing enough to help curtail all of this? What really is the issue here? Joseph, please go ahead.
Now, let us address this holistically. There are a lot of factors that lead to insecurity. And insecurity did not just start today. The president actually met the situation of insecurity. Now, what will make me to say I want to go and set up a bomb myself? What will make me want to do that? It's because I don't believe in myself. It's because I'm not empowered. If I am empowered enough, I won't decide to say I want to start to go and carry a bomb, or I want to be a suicide bomber, or join Boko Haram, etc., etc. Now, this net fund is also an opportunity to address this. That is on one hand. The other hand is that the federal government has already put out an information that they are forming a separate security for the forest. Look at this, for example, in the West, we don't have the information about these security issues much in the West, of insurgents, I mean. In the West, why are we having much of it in the North? Because there are a lot of bushes there, uncultivated bushes there. So these terrorists, they have the opportunity to hide in those bushes, carry out their harm, and hide back in there. So the idea of the forest guard is a welcome idea, that there are guards in those bushes that can help to curb the logistics of these insurgents, so that they are unable to operate in their capacity. So that's my view concerning the security issues. And additionally, those bushes there are a lot of Nigerians that want to farm, that they need funding. They should cultivate those lands. They should cultivate those lands. Nigeria, as of now, is still not producing what is consuming. I mean, I expect by now we should have been back in the farms. Let us keep planting more. We should have grown agriculture. People should be back in the farms. And how would they be able to do this? Is by releasing enough fund. Yes, I applaud the fact that Bank of Industry has announced 110 billion that's releasing to Nigerians. Yes, they have announced that. But this 110 billion came late. I have expected that before now this fund's supposed to have been out. But thank God it's out now anyway. Well done, kudos to them.
Aside security concerns, if you can hear me, Joseph, another major thing is this administration's commitment to the rule of law and democratic principles. Over time, it has been questioned. Number one, the declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers State amidst constitutional implications, and also the banning of a critical song by the artist Idris have raised concerns over the decentralization of power and the freedom of expression. Oftentimes, we've seen cases where persons are picked up simply because they express themselves just the way they felt like, and we've seen it happen over time during this present administration. What do you make of it?
Well, as a Nigerian and as a citizen of this country, I believe in rule of law. I believe in adhering by the law that governs us so that we can live in peace. Now, I'm not going to make unnecessary speculations in regards the issue of Niger Delta. I mean, uh, Governor Fubara that was removed or I mean suspended as the governor of the state. I would say that the case is in court, and the court is the judiciary arm. If the court thinks that what the president has done is not right, or what the president has done is against the law, the court will reverse it. But if the court sees that what the president has done is right, the court will allow it. Let me correct this notion that people are of the opinion that when things don't go their way, that the government is trying to force things on them and not allowing the rule of law. It should not always be like that. We should not always be like that. We should try as much as possible to support whoever we put in charge, whoever that is currently in charge. That is my own opinion.
Okay.
Don't let us point too many hands on those that we put in charge. We have an arm.
I'm
Go
pretty sure.
and
I'm
speak
pretty sure
with
an
them.
average Nigerian would say, as against their well-being, as against the high cost of living, and how to afford the basic amenities of life. A lot of questions to be asked, if you ask me. Now, quickly move over to the educational sector, because they say the young children, the youth, are the leaders of tomorrow. And over time, we've seen different revelation from the educational system right here in Nigeria, with a lot of persons calling for reforms under this current administration. Well, interestingly, we haven't seen ASU gone on strike since our president came on board, but there's also been different lacunas at the end of that place, talking about the issue of the glitches we saw in the recent JAM examination. And currently, WAEC is having their own part of it, with a lot of students complaining about the timing of the examination, where you now see students sitting down to write exam at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. in most parts of the country. Now, the question is, how did we even get here, and why have we not been able to hold a grip on the educational system right here in Nigeria? Just a minute.
I'll start from saying this. Almost every sector in Nigeria needs reform. Almost every sector in Nigeria. Now, I actually asked myself a question. I said, why did the president start from tax first? Why did he start from reforming tax? So my answer was that, how do you fund other sectors reform? You fund it by generating more revenue. That is why it started from taxation. Now, look at how long it took to reform tax. Look at how long. So if it's going to reform every sector, look at how long it's going to take. Definitely, it's not in the first 4 years. Not possible. Because Nigeria is a big country. A lot of consultations, a lot of planning, a lot of meetings have to go into place before you can take a reform, where you can perform a reasonable reform. Now, going to your question about education, I solely agree that education needs to totally, completely reformed. I'm not personally proud of Nigeria's education system. Yes, there's not been strikes and so on and so forth. I give that to the government. But then, what are they teaching these children in school? Are they teaching them history? When they leave the school, what do they become? Can they become something in life after school? Do they have hope? What is the story going on here and there about when you leave school? School is a scam. You leave school, you don't have money, you cannot become anything, no jobs, and so on and so forth. The president, the government should look into the whole days of our parents, that when they leave school, they get the day of their graduations, companies, organizations are lining up to pick the brightest. What happens to that? No company is going to pick any brightest any longer. We need to get back to this olden days. Our curriculum needs to be changed to fit into how we are, not just foreign curriculum. How we are, what we work for us. In our education, no history is taught again. Our children does not even know anything about anybody. It's very, very alarming. And looking into the glitch that happened with JAM, I would say that yes, it's good that the affected children came out and spoke. It's their right. At least when they came out and spoke, I mean, something came out of it. If they have kept quiet, maybe nothing would have come out. But they came out and they spoke. So I give it to them that they are able to come out, they are bold. Yes, that's good. But also, when it has to do with technology, the glitches happens. Let us not forget that. I run a tech company. I'm a serial entrepreneur, and one of my companies, the tech company, in technology, glitches happen sometimes, and those centers are not directly owned by JAM. Do you understand? They are not owned by JAM. So Nigerians should also understand that people have come out and complained. The head of JAM has also apologized, and they have promised that it will not happen again. They should cut them some slack.
Okay.
Let's cut them some slack.
Cut them some slack, you say. But in recent time, we've seen a lot of politicking happening, and a lot of Nigerians are wondering what is really going on at this point. Are we having a bit of distractions? Because this is just the second year, this is 2025, and already we're seeing politicians under this administration talking about 2027. We saw what happened last week, Thursday, at the APC summit, where we saw our president giving, a thumbs up and endorsement for a rerun in the 2027 election. We've seen defections happening. We've seen the cry of a one-party state. Our president has even given his own part of it, saying when a boat is sinking, you need to cry for help and move over to the one that has every necessary thing that you need. So we've seen that happen back and forth. What do you think would actually be right now on the minds of Nigerians regarding this? Don't you think this current administration is moving and drifting away from good governance and just having all its focus on politics?
Well, in my own take, I think the current government is already preparing or even prepared for the coming election. And I think it's going to be easy for them. I'm speaking now from all the mouths, not just one side. It's going to be easy for them because I can't see what the opposition is doing. I can't see the effect of the opposition. What is Peter Obi doing? What is Atiku doing? I want the competition. I want the competition. I don't want that. Okay, yes, President Tinubu is trying what he could do. But then the competition is very, very important. So that, when he eventually, if he's re-elected, he will know that he has to deliver. And if we have a better choice, let the better choice become the president. Most especially, let the voice of Nigerians be heard. Let our votes count. What is running in the head of every Nigerian right now is that our votes does not count. I will not be shocked the next election if the number of voters drop drastically, because people may not go out to vote because they know that right now that it's not the person that votes, it is the person that counts to vote that matters, not the person that votes. It is the person that count the vote. So the question is that Nigerians have lost hope in the electoral process. And it is only the opposition that can work up strategies that can make Nigerians have faith in the process. So they need to come up, especially people like Peter Obi, need to come up with strategies that can work, strategies that can make his vote to really count. You understand? Strategies that can, compete with the government, with the current government, give the real competition. So it doesn't look like it's somebody's father's business. Like any Tinubu has engaged everybody in Nigeria, and it's looking like it's going to a one-party system. Everybody now is rushing to the ruling party because it looks like it's the ruling party that is effective and ruling party that is the in thing now, which is the usual thing for Nigeria. Everybody wants to go with the in thing.
Now, moving forward, what would you like to see and what would you love to see in the country in terms of reforms, in terms of having the right things put in place, in terms of an average Nigerian being able to afford the basic amenities? I mean, food, water, shelter, clothing, the list actually is endless. What are you looking forward to moving forward?
My dear sister, there are lots of things I'm looking forward to. First and foremost, I'm looking forward to a Nigeria where there is equality and justice. I'm looking forward to a Nigeria where cost of governance is reduced to the BRS minimum. I'm looking forward to a Nigeria where governance is no longer attractive. Governance, leadership, power is no longer attractive. This is after when we have this. I'm also looking for a Nigeria where we can produce what we consume, where Nigerians can produce what we consume. Country as small as South Africa paying citizens every month, salary every month. Why can't Nigeria do that? Things are hard. People don't have money. Pay Nigerians, create a card, NIN card, that is a debit card, send money directly to them. I'm looking for this kind of Nigeria. I'm looking for Nigeria that is secure. I'm looking for Nigeria that we citizens are proud of. A lot of people are hungry, even in Lagos, either in Lagos or Benin or Abuja. A lot of Nigerians cannot afford basic food. Food now is as expensive as more than any other thing. So I'm looking for a Nigeria where everybody can eat. And most importantly, I'm looking for a Nigeria where we are technology savvy, where we
Absolutely.
can provide tech services that the entire world can come and patronize us. So I'm
Absolutely.
challenging the
Jesse Femi.
Minister of Communication.
Yes,
Up
yes,
to this,
indeed.
I'm
Jesse
looking
Femi, I
for
really must
Nigeria
thank
where,
you so much. I really must thank you so
yeah,
much, Jesse Femi Adeogun, political analyst, for being a part of the show this morning. Thank you so much for your time.
you're welcome. Thank you so much.